What that lady said on about now? So it sounded different places. What was that resolution? The whole town.
Well,
It just got.
so we don't really know.
All right. You okay, Senator? All right, good evening all. Welcome to the town board meeting, February 13th, 2023. Please rise and salute the flag. We'll have Tim lead us in the flag salute.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic which stands one nation under God, indivisible, liberty, justice for all.
Councilman Hanlon.
Here.
Here.
Supervisor Marino.
Here. And Mr. Lewandowski is sick and he won't be here tonight. All right, before we get started, the first thing I just want to do, I want to introduce everybody out in the audience and on YouTube, Mary Cassane. Mary Cassane is now our new attorney, town attorney. She represents Miller, Mannix, Shackner, Hadford Company. So don't holler at her too much until she gets her feet on the ground. All right. All right, we'll move right in. The first thing we got is going to have a presentation. I got Barbara Mitchell here. We'll entertain our from Hudson Headwaters group that's going to give us a PowerPoint on the progress of the bus that we have out in the parking lot.
I have had the privilege of working with Hudson Headwaters for a year. I have gotten to know Kristen Whaler, the manager of the medical RV that comes to the center. And I want to introduce Kristen Whaler, and then Lee Johnson. He's the director of our mobile unit. And mobile encompasses a lot. So, and I did want to just say, this is quick. Many of you received this at home. This is our mailer that went out to everyone in Lake Luzerne. On the front page, it talks about the mobile unit, and on the back page, we selfishly, I talked all about the senior center. So I just want to say that we are really doing a big push to get our senior center up and going and our mobile unit. So we tied them together. So I'm going to let Kristen take it from here.
No, Chris.
Hi.
Thank you.
Thank you very much for having me here. And obviously, Lee, my name is Kristen Waller. I manage the mobile medical practice here that we have the privilege of coming to every first, third, and fifth Thursday. We're very, very excited to be here. It's been a little over a calendar year, and we, had many great successes, but I just wanted to present again, do a little check-in, make sure nobody had any questions. So again, thank you for having me and Lee. So the mobile health unit, let's see here. There we go. Sorry about that. So first I just wanted to touch on what Hudson Headwaters is. Our mission is to drive access to culturally sensitive, affordable, high quality primary care services for the medically underserved populations within our region. We want to expand local healthcare safety net through innovative mobile healthcare delivery fueled by community partnerships. And you are the partnership that we're referencing here, and we're very grateful to have you. Just an overview again about Hudson Headwaters. We do have a commitment to all. We have done 3.7 million in charitable care. We've done a sliding fee and discounted pharmacy programs, and we are a safety net provider. So we are system-wide in health, health centers, hospitals, nursing homes, workplace, schools, and otherwise. So mobile health, what is it? So we offer primary care, pediatric care, adolescent, and gynecology. We have actually changed our model since the last time I sat in this chair. So when I first came here, we were primary care established with Hudson Headwaters. and leave your current primary care practice. That is no longer the case. And I do want to take a moment to explain what that means. That means if we're on your campus here on a Thursday and you wake up and you're not feeling well, and you call your primary care provider that you love and you do not want to leave and they can't get you in for 2-3 days, but we're here. Come see us. We'll see you. We'll treat you. We'll prescribe whatever needs to be prescribed or handle whatever it is that is ailing you and send that note off to your primary care. We don't want you to leave what you're comfortable with, but we want you to know that we're here to supplement whatever your healthcare needs are. All are welcome here, regardless of your insurance, ability to pay. We do have a handicapped accessible lift on the unit, which has been great for a lot of our patients. We have a ton of services. As you can see up here, we family medicine, internal medicine, voluntary family planning. I'd like to touch on, and I can leave this up for a few minutes if people would like to review that, but we do a lot of school sports physicals, sick visits, adult health exams, well child visits, and what that encompasses, hearing screening, vision screening, routine vaccinations, a lot of lead testing on the unit, and we have a wide variety of point of care testing as well. On the unit, we can do COVID, flu A, flu B, mono, strep, A1Cs for our diabetic patients. You get those results in 15 minutes instead of drawing labs. Glucose, hemoglobin, urinalysis, pregnancy tests, RSV, we do a ton on there. We are capable of doing EKGs if you have any kind of conditions needing that. So we are well equipped, just like any other standard brick and mortar health center. We just happen to have a bunch of wheels under us. We service 4 primary locations, and then we do supplement as well. Our 4 locations are obviously here: Salem, SUNY Adirondack, and Whitehall. And this has been our year in review for mobile health. Luzerne, we've had 25 clinics in 2022. We've seen 117 patients, of which 19 were telehealth, and we see about 4, almost 5 patients a clinic day. SUNY Adirondack, 18 clinic days, 118 patients, 11 of which were telehealth, and they average 6.5 patients per day. Whitehall, we've had 27 clinics with 216 patients, 12 of which were telehealth. We average 7.7 patients per day. And then Salem at the very end, which we are there on Mondays and Tuesdays, 86 clinic days, 626 patients, 74 of which were telehealth, and 7.2 patients per day. It's just our year in review. So I don't know if any of you have seen the unit. I actually don't recognize very many faces here, but I hope to this second. This is our mobile health unit. And so if you would mind just taking a peek and looking inside. Do you have any volume on it or not, though? What do you mean? You don't think? Sorry. Ooh. Oh. Oh, okay. Sorry. Let's see. All right, well, on our website, you can actually take a picture, take a peek through it. We have a clickable walkthrough. And this is actually, our next slide is actually on our website as well. Lynn Galanka is a patient here. She did a interview with us, just giving her overview. And I can say her name because she signed all the waivers and did this on purpose, so there's no violation there. But Lynn had a wonderful experience. She did that because we care. We want to be here. We want to see everybody. We want to supplement your care. We want you to know that we're here and happy to see anyone who wants to come onto the unit any first, third, and fifth Thursday. Lastly, now it's just doing crazy. Here we go. So there's 3 ways to be seen on the unit. You can just ring our doorbell. If we're there, we'll see you. Ring the doorbell, walk on in. No issues there. You can schedule online or you can give us a call. Our website is very user-friendly now. I'll admit it was not always user-friendly, but now you just click on the link, click Luzerne, pick your time. That's it. We need your first name, your last name, your email address, and a phone number. We'll figure the rest when you come in. Or again, just knock up and either myself or Nicole will answer the door and take it from there. I do have a couple questions for the community though, if that's okay. I want to know from people here how we can connect. How can we best connect to have members of the community reach out to us? How can we be better support for the people of the community? What are some barriers that need to be addressed? What services would you like to see? I mean, I'm not from here. I don't know what the needs are. And I don't want to assume what they are either. So I'd like to open that up and ask you what you would like to know, how we can help, what it is that we can do to kind of build our relationship and grow together. Does anyone have any questions?
I want it in the back.
Dental services, just like my dentist, they retired earlier, and unfortunately, me and my others have not been able to get into dental. So, and I know I did have one.
So I will defer to Lee on that, to answer that question to the best of your ability.
Yeah, no, absolutely. So, there is an access issue. Headwaters is one of the only, dental practices that accept, Medicaid, which is a predominant, provider in our area. So one of the things that we're actively recruiting dentists, we're actually looking for 2 dentists, because we lost one, over the summertime, and we're looking to expand that. We have some hope, that we're going to attract a couple. There's one that looks to be starting in July, so we'll have an expanded service there. We're also looking to partner with, UVM, University of Vermont Medicine. They have a dental residency program, so they have the people, and we have the need, and we'll combine resources to try to provide, increase that activity there. We also do have a school-based dental program, which doesn't affect adults, obviously, but we provide appointments and screenings for kids K through 8. Coverage or ability to pay.
We can't hear.
Yeah, I was just gonna say, can you get by that microphone? Can I let him?
Sorry.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah,
Grab a second chair if you want.
I'll share it.
yeah, just bring the mic close. We're in the process of getting a couple of handheld mics. But
No
this kind of,
problem. No problem. So,
If you could repeat a little bit, please, a little bit.
yeah, absolutely. So I was saying that we know that there is a problem with access to dental coverage in our areas and surrounding our North Country. We are actively recruiting dentists. Dentists tend to be a hot commodity, and it's very difficult to attract folks that want to come to the North Country. We find that you need to have grown up in this area or you enjoy recreating in this area. So we're actively recruiting dentists. If anyone knows a dentist who would be interested in working with us, please let us know. Yes, please let us know. But we are working hard to increase our access because we know that it is an issue.
Stan, I think that was you. Do you have any questions? Anybody out there?
While Chris is seeing if there's any other questions.
No, not from me. We just couldn't hear.
Thank you,
Town
Stan.
is 80% of the way through the process of updating our master plan. And healthcare was one of the top 10 or 15 issues. And one of the recommendations, I believe that committee will be making is to find a healthcare provider to locate here in town. Brick and mortar. So a couple of years from now, we'll probably be calling you.
Understood. And yeah, we would love that opportunity to work with you on that.
Does anyone else have any questions?
Anybody else have any questions?
By the way, I took the tour of the mobile unit when it first started. It's very impressive.
Thank you.
It really is.
Thank you. Thank you. So we actually just received approval from our board in January to purchase our second mobile unit. That will expand on the reach that number 1 has, but also provide some redundancy when there are mechanical issues that have been a recent problem for us. So that we're able to be consistent with our deployments.
And I could say I'm also on that list, and I had my first meeting there. It was pleasurable and very friendly people, and you got your answers. So
That's great to hear.
just keep it up. I'm sorry.
How long have you been doing Salem, servicing Salem?
We started June 7th of 2021.
Okay, the reason I ask is of the 3 or 4 communities on that little graph, on that chart rather. I think that's probably about the same size as Luzerne. And
very similar size.
Yes, but we are there twice a week. I can go back to those numbers as well. We are there Mondays and Tuesdays. The reason we started there for 2 days a week is because they had stressed that they had a need and they absolutely followed through with that. I mean, just last year alone, we saw 600 patients
Yeah.
there, which was nice.
I guess my point is, I think it'll catch on stronger and stronger.
I really hope so. And I want to make it clear that I'm available for anybody who just wants to see it. Just knock up. I'll give you a tour if there's no patients in there. If there are, we might have to wait a few minutes, but you know, I understand that it can be interesting and daunting to see this giant RV pull in and you don't know what's in it. You don't know what to expect. And I understand that, but once you're in it, it feels comfortable. It feels like every other health center you've ever been in. It has all the same equipment, actually some more equipment than most health centers have, because we know that we have a rural reach and we want to be able to provide as many services as we can. Our nurse is an extraordinary human being who draws labs on the units. If a provider orders a lab, or if you have a Hudson Headwaters provider, we're happy to draw labs on the unit to make it more convenient, because I know that there is a gap in care there. And she's very, very good at it. So we try and be as inviting as possible, because it can be daunting. Healthcare in general can be daunting, and we're real people. We know you are too, and we just want it to be a good, welcoming experience for all, with having backed by a lot of experience in the healthcare field.
I think it's important that you stress too, that it's not just for Lake Luzerne residents, it's for the area, Stony Creek, Day, Hadley, anyone. So anyone that's here or listening, you can spread the word to anyone in your family or in your outreach. Churches could put the word out, whatever, but it's not just for Lake Luzerne citizens, because it's located in our town. It's an outreach area.
It's just centrally located. I mean, the location is perfect too, but you know, to your point, we'll see everybody, whether you have insurance and the best insurance in the whole wide world or no insurance at all, it doesn't matter. You know, we'll help you if it's something that you want to do and you want to get insurance, we'll hold your hand the whole way if that's something that you want to do. We have a ton of care managers. We have a lot of resources at our fingertips because we are a giant organization, but we bring that home on the mobile unit. It's a very home-like, hometown feel on the mobile unit, and I've never experienced it before in my long career in healthcare, and I am so grateful to have it, because it's just, there's just something more to it. Well, you hold on 1 second, I talked to you already.
Hours on Thursday, I did get the paper.
9 to 4. And walk-ins are welcome, so if you just, again, if you want to just see it, I highly encourage it, because it's interesting, especially if you like camping, because it's like the coolest medical camper of all time. I'm just, sorry, I'm very proud. Yes, sir.
If there was a 911 call, local.
Mhm.
Would we be better off, would the emergency squad be better off checking with you during the day, if that was the day, rather than taking 51 calls? If it was a real
Oh, no,
non-emergency or a real,
I would still encourage you going to the hospital. If it's a 911 emergency, you need to go to the emergency room. So they should continue their trip to Glens Falls Hospital or Saratoga Hospital, or wherever they're going. I wouldn't check in for something like that. I think we are more geared towards primary care. While we do see a decent amount of urgent, have extra capabilities, you don't have things like that. So I would definitely say continue your route to the hospital. Now, if you wake up and you're sick and you think, oh my, flu or COVID or strep, come on over. Sinus infections too.
All right, anyone else out there? I thought I saw another hand, but maybe not.
So lastly, I'm just gonna put my contact information, Lee's contact information up on the screen. Feel free to call. That is my cell phone number. You can call anytime. That's my email address, Lee's as well. We encourage questions, because if you don't know, you don't ask, you'll never know. So we're here to answer those questions whenever they need.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you
for
very
your time.
much. It's nice hearing.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, we're gonna continue with the meeting. We're gonna open the floor to the public for any questions on our proposed resolutions. If you have a question, please come to the table, use the mic, so everybody out can hear, so. Do we have any questions at all on our proposed resolutions? Yes, please.
Resolution.
No, oh, come right over here, come on.
34. Does that include the box that goes on the back of that 1-ton truck?
Yes.
It include utility body?
Yes, it's going to. It's going to, yes.
So that's in the specifications?
No, I put it out as a whole truck. So. it
But we
should-
don't get halves. I mean,
Uh,
I mean, but what kind of body are you putting on those specifications?
Utility body,
Utility body.
yes.
All right, that's all.
Yeah,
That was the
yeah.
question.
Yeah.
Do you think a trailer would work just as
No,
well or no?
No.
No?
You wanna pull a trailer down behind Stones and down Stones Pond Road in the
Stone-
middle of winter? No.
Oh, if the highway department had it plowed pretty good, it'd be all right. I guess I didn't need to say that, did I?
We went through that, Fred. We've talked about it for a couple of months now.
It's, yeah,
Dollars and cents of trailers, what every contractor uses today, rather than a vehicle.
it's just so much easier to jump into the truck, bring the truck down to a valve that I gotta blow out because I can't get my tailpipe on there. So now you want a guy to get in a truck, back up to the trailer, hook the trailer up to bring me down the air hose compressor?
I don't know.
No.
Yeah, I don't know what the requirements are. That's
No,
what I'm
we don't-
saying.
We don't wanna do that,
I don't know.
you know, we wanna jump in the truck, go, get down there,
If the road's capable,
do what I gotta do, and then come back.
all right,
You know, that's just one scenario.
yeah. All right, I just didn't know what the body was on the
Yeah.
truck that you were gonna
Yeah.
buy.
Yes, it's gonna be I
Utility-
would like to get an enclosed one where we can get inside and put our product together and then, but if we can't, then maybe down the road, we'll add it on. But
Okay, let me ask you this question. Would a reasonably priced school bus do the job? Small bus, not a
yeah,
40-footer.
I know what you mean. And with a lot of fabrication, probably.
You know, it's just a 1-ton truck's a lot of money today. Oh, my God. But what isn't a lot of money?
Well, it's been needed for a long, long time.
Oh, yeah, I don't doubt that, but,
Yeah, come on over, I'll show you.
oh, no.
We'll put you to work. Thank you, Fred. Anybody else have any questions on the resolutions? Yes, ma'am. State your name, please.
Diane Powers.
I do.
I see that on the agenda for this evening, there's some resolutions regarding the granting of occupancy tax funds for certain items.
Yep.
And I guess what I'm unclear, is this always been the process, and what is the process for applying for and for the granting of occupancy tax funds?
That fund is for Winter Carnival. We give it to the Snowmobile Club, the Chamber of Commerce.
What is the process? Is there an application?
There's an application, you come in, we have an application you can fill out
Okay,
and state what you need, how much you need and why you need it. It's to bring people into the town of Lake Luzerne,
mhm.
you know, and so it's mostly used for advertising and kind of stuff like that.
Is that always been the process that resolutions have to be brought out in front of the board and then voted on for that?
It goes on and off. Sometimes we vote on a whole bunch of them at one time and then you don't hear it again for months. But,
Okay. The reason for my question is that currently Lake Luzerne gets about $50,000 annually from the Warren County Occupancy Tax Fund. And with I feel like there's a potential for greater sums if compliance with short-term rentals becomes better. So I guess I'm just saying that if there is a current process, that it become a little more transparent so that people in general know how to apply for these funds. The Warren County the occupancy tax law does specify how it's supposed to be used.
Yep.
And I don't know if you have a committee that reviews the requests for
Just basically
compliance.
The board will go over them.
The board does
Don't have
that.
a committee.
Okay. Are there receipts and reports that are required?
When the people apply for it, it will have it like now that we sent a letter out to probably 7 or 8 who got it last year or the year before. The one whole thing is before we can give them for this year, they have to return we don't need to see all the return receipts. We tell them to keep the receipts, but a full page of, we spent this for electricity, this for that, this for food, this for this. This way we have an idea of what they spent on.
Okay. Are they required to provide any tourist information or data that could be used for like further promotion and marketing?
Good idea.
I really don't, we don't look for that. I keep that on file.
Okay.
It comes up, but they're not statistical things. If
it's
that's
not,
what you're
yeah.
looking for.
No, I'm just saying that if the purpose of the occupancy tax dollars is to promote tourism in the area, then it'd be great if we had some data that we could actually further market to people who, I mean, the Warren County law does specify that it's supposed to be encouraging overnight stays specifically.
That data could be used to our advantage for the town.
Sure.
Remote business was, for the Chamber of Commerce or whatever, we could. yeah.
Mhm. I
Very-
did,
very good.
yeah, I just had one other item, which was, there's a resolution, and I guess this is where I would bring it up, there's a resolution to approve some money for a concert and food truck event that costs $8,400. But you're appropriating 12,000 in funding for that?
No, it's
6 concerts.
it included 6 concerts and the advertising for the food trucks and all. It's just 12,000.
Okay, the concerts cost $8,400.
It's not 20 grand. It's just 12,000.
That's what I said. I think I said 12,000.
Yeah, it
Okay.
reads funny. We looked at it today, but it's, yeah, it's, they're asking for 12,000 total, and that's to fund the concerts and prepare the advertising and everything. The food trucks are our first shot at it this year. So we're gonna see what
Yeah,
happens.
see what happens with it.
8,400 is for the bands, right?
No, that's, 84 is for the bands and then the
First-
rest is for the advertising and the food trucks.
Well, okay, so the food trucks, they won't be paying any kind of permitting fees or anything?
They
to
have
be-
to, spend
Yes.
$25 on one night permit. That's our rule in the town
Okay.
for a venue.
Okay, and what day of the week is this going to be held?
Wednesday nights,
Wednesday nights? Okay,
6 to 8 or 8:30, I think.
okay. So I guess one of my concerns is the local restaurants. That if you have this on a Wednesday night, most of the local restaurants are open and it's sort of competing. A lot of local restaurants are closed Mondays and Tuesdays.
What restaurant?
What, we have no,
Longhorn, the
Longhorn-
tavern at. Meadow
Longhorn's
Meadow.
closed on Wednesdays. And restaurant, the Meadow Meadows closed on Wednesday. They might open during the season in the summertime, longer, but right now they're closed, but the trucks are not here now, but. it's-
Moonstar and Rocco's are also open on Wednesdays. Moonstar is closed on Mondays. Hadley General Store, Sweeties will be open again. It's just, I just think it's a consideration to kind of think about that you really don't want to detract business from a
Well,
local
that's
business.
not our purpose.
No, I understand that, but that's why I'm saying Wednesday. Why Wednesday?
Well, it was kind of picked of a day because there's other places that do it on Tuesday nights and
Mm,
Friday
yes,
nights.
yeah.
Huracan is probably one of the largest. I just spoke to the supervisor there today. They get about 12 to 15 food trucks every Friday night and bringing a lot of people.
Glens Falls does
And
Thursday
Glens
nights.
Falls has Thursday nights. So that was a night that was discussed and picked. Maybe next year it'd be a better night. I don't know. It's a shot that we're doing this year. Got to try it.
No, I understand. It's
I
already,
think if
it's already
people,
being advertised though, and it hasn't even been voted on.
well, they're moving the advertising along faster than we can get. We were supposed to vote on this last month,
Yeah.
but we didn't have all the information in there yet. Now we have it.
Okay. Okay, thank you.
No problem.
Thank you.
Anyone else? Anybody out on YouTube would like to talk? Nope. All right. With
Fred?
that.
Fred
Cindy-
like another shot? Fred, would you like another shot? No?
They order food in Glens Falls on the YouTube tonight, but over that old shirt factory.
Yeah, yeah.
So I mean,
Right in the heart of where all the restaurants are, they.
Right. Yeah, but, you know,
There's a lot
if
of
somebody, there's not gonna be maybe there won't be pizza in one of the food trucks. So if somebody wants to go to Rocco's, they're gonna go to Rocco's for pizza. We're not there to deter people just to come. And especially this year, we're not gonna be having a lot of trucks. So there's not a really, we hope maybe different type of food. So we're gonna see. It's an experiment. It's gonna try it. And it's worth the shot. Yes, I believe in that fully. All right, Cindy, you want to move along and do the resolutions?
Resolution 26 of 2023 to pay the bills of the second abstract as presented in vouchers numbered and totaled as follows. General Fund 1241 to 1244 and 1246 to 1311 in the amount of $55,804.89. Highway Fund number 1312 to 1342 in the amount of $43,827.43. Lake Luzerne Water number 1343 to 1353, amount $20,371.17. Hudson Grove Water voucher 1354, $25. Lake Luzerne Streetlight 1245 in the amount of $7,500. Is there a motion?
I'll make it.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. Resolution 27 of 2023 to accept meeting minutes as presented January 9th and January 16th. Is there a motion?
We'll make a motion.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. Resolution 28 of 2023 to renew the summer ambassador program, docent program as directed by Sue Wilder for a cost of $4,800 to $5,200.
That's 20 hours a week. 20 hours per
20-hour shifts.
shifts,
4
4-hour
No,
shifts,
that's not right.
Hmm?
4 hours shift.
4-hour
At
shifts,
$20.
$20. Yes. So the difference in the number there, she's not sure how many people she's gonna get and she's not gonna get. So we're just rounding it off.
I'll make a motion.
Second.
All in favor? Opposed? Carried. Resolution 29 of 2023 to approve the 2023 concert and food truck event to be hosted by the Chamber of Commerce. The event to include 6 concerts, which will cost $8,400 with a maximum of 4 food trucks to be in attendance while the concerts are held. $12,000 in funding for this event will come from the town's occupancy tax. Is there a motion?
I'll make that motion.
I'll second.
Before we vote, I'd just like to say I'd like to get the chamber in, talk about other events that are coming up. I was glad to see they gave us a breakdown of what bands, what dates, and so on and so forth.
All in favor on the motion?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. Resolution 30 to approve the snowmobile races for February 25th, 2023 with $2,500 in funding for this event to come from the town's occupancy tax. Is there a motion?
I'll make a motion.
I'll second. We're just passing this resolution right now. I spoke to the gentleman twice last week It was supposed to be on the 4th of February. We canceled it on the 4th and made it for the 25th, which is a week from this coming Saturday. We're still a little bit up in the air. We'll make a final decision on Monday, probably, if there's enough ice and it's safe to do it. But we have to pass this resolution, so we have it ready to go if it goes. If it doesn't go, the money goes no place. So,
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. Resolution 31, to amend the town's procurement policy to only require as a threshold for purchasing 3 town council person signatures on purchases under $20,000.
Jim, you want to read the,
Yeah, I think we may want to amend this a little bit.
yeah, we're gonna amend this resolution to what Jim's gonna, it's more broken down, goes from $1 up to 20,000.
Everybody, I passed this out before we started the meeting. It's kind of a basis of discussion. I looked at one other town as to what their current dollar ranges are. And Mary, if I'm off base, let me know, okay? Basically, from the research that I did, purchases are kind of divided into 2 categories. I call them materials and public works. Basically, it's one is materials, supplies and stuff like that, and the other one is contract stuff. The state requires anything over 20,000 in materials. They have their rules. I forget what the rules are, but that's spelled out. I think it's three bids or something. For public works, like contracts, if it's over 35, then the state has their rules. So the numbers I put on this piece of paper are below that. What are our rules below that? So for materials, I was thinking up to $5,000. No approvals needed, just document the need. And I was thinking $5,000 to $10,000. Fax, email, or written quotes, and notify 3 board members. One thing we want to remember, the reason for doing this is stuff is so much expensive. Our old policy is $1,500. That means if somebody wants to go out and buy a couple new tires for a truck, they have to put it out to bid. Costs more to do that than the tires are worth. The third breakdown I had was $10,000 to $20,000. Was 3 formal quotes and board approval. Like I said, this is just my idea, so this is up for discussion. I added, based upon our discussions last time, I added one more category, used vehicle purchase, up to $20,000, full board approval, verify the price with Kelly Blue Book or NADA or something like that, just to make sure we're getting a fair deal. We've missed at least one large, if not several, used truck purchases or used vehicle purchases that we just couldn't act on fast enough, and it was sold by the time we got there. So that's the basis for that line item. I'm not advocating we adopt all of these or any of these. I'm bringing it up for discussion. The public works stuff, 1 to 5,000, same as the first one up above. Just document the need. 5 to 10,000. Email, fax, written quotes, board approval. So that would be three board members. 10 to 35 formal quotes and board approval. I added the bottom, and I don't know if we want to do this or not. It was just an idea. We had a couple emergencies come up, like the dam and stuff like that. I really think that maybe that's a little special situation. When I was trying to procure a truck for the buildings and grounds guys department, one of the big Ford dealers in the area told me that some towns are buying them on an emergency basis now. And that's kind of a circumventing way to get around the law. Okay. So I put this there. I put these 3 emergency numbers, 1 to 10. Basically just document it, 10 to 20. proceed, but notify 2 board members immediately. Over 20, proceed, notify 3 board members immediately. My ideas. Combine them, want to change the numbers, want to make it simpler. I don't know what your thoughts are.
I like this. It's, at least it's set in stone what has to be done. And we got the room in there to do emergencies. I mean, we lost that one truck at the beginning of the year because we couldn't get, it was a used truck. And it's tough to bid out a used truck because every used truck is just a little different mileage, motor, everything else like that. And we lost one that was a good price, but we didn't have all this stuff in place, and now we would like to have it in place. So,
Yeah, this it's changed. The world's changed as far as procuring, and I think I see nothing. Because everything on here looks good. I like what you have. The used vehicle though. Yeah, that one for vehicles, maybe just fine tune that one a little bit as far, I don't know. A bit more,
Higher.
a little bit more accountability for vehicle, I think. I don't know where I'm going with it, but I think it should be a little bit more than that.
Can we come up with it right now so we can put this to
Yeah.
bed? Like, maybe 2, get 2 type quotes. What are the 2 big ones you got?
I would do 2. It's used vehicles, you know what I mean? It's-
NADA and Kelly Blue Book, is that the same thing?
No. No.
I'll do that.
Yeah, we could do that.
I have a question.
go ahead.
Who decides that it's an emergency?
There is a definition in the state rules. And again, Mary, I don't know if you know it off the top of your head. Don't quote me, Karen, it's pretty vague. It's.
But I mean, is it,
Objective.
is it like a department head would say? it's an
Oh, yeah, that's like our road superintendent and-
A town board member?
and the
that
town
says-
board would have to check it out too.
Whoever's doing the purchase.
Well, on one, you've got none, under the method, 1 to 10,000.
Yeah.
You don't have to provide anything. So who's gonna decide it's an emergency in that situation?
Well.
Which one are you looking at?
it's
The emergency.
First
Oh,
one.
emergency, sorry.
First emergency. Well, in the highway department, it would be Ron, town board, it would be Gene, and on down to the board if it had to be.
Okay, I was just
I
curious.
That should be, Mary could help us to maybe get it a little fine tune on that.
I think she's just suggesting maybe put department head or
Yep.
just lay it out in there, who you're.
I think,
Document it somehow, I think, more than
well,
what the emergency is and where you're getting, where you've gotten your prices or something.
the entire procurement policy is 2 or 3 pages long. I'm not advocating eliminating the whole thing, just the numbers part of it. And it's been a while since I did this, a couple of months ago I did this, but I think that's in there as to who the purchasers might be.
Can I make a suggestion?
Yes.
Sure.
I think that doing it, I think this is great for looking at it in the meeting and deciding on the numbers, but it might be advantageous to put it into the actual document. And before you pass a resolution, have the document in front of you so that everyone can see the specifics as to what, the definition of an emergency is, who makes that determination. But this is certainly great to look at and say, yeah, we agree on the numbers, and then put it into the policy.
All right, so we'll use your help and we'll put it off another month and put it on all that information.
Okay.
The reason why we're doing this, I mean, everybody's having this problem. Everybody out, try to buy a new car today, try to buy a truck. They tell you, I mean, what do we have? Around two years, we're looking for a truck. So this will help us get even used ones that when we need them. In the way that the whole world is going, it's not like you can go to the store anymore and just buy one off the lot. They're gonna tell you that, and when the price is too high if you buy it off the lot, but if you buy it and put a deposit down on it, you gotta wait 2 years for one to be built. So this is why we're trying to do this, just to get away for, Ron can have 2 trucks break down on a big snowstorm and to me, an emergency is we have to go get a used one to get back up, or we have policies which we work with other towns. But when we need a truck, so do they. So that doesn't work all the time. But and so this is all it is just to make sure that we can take care of the equipment we need when we need it. So.
Mary, well, you have this.
Yep.
I'll turn the file I have over to you,
Sure.
and maybe we can get that on our next agenda.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
All right, so we'll need a motion to,
Hold on one second. Make the note about the vehicle thing to get two comparative prices. Okay, so we're tabling
we're
that.
gonna make a motion to table it,
I'll second that motion.
and we'll have it, most of the stuff by our agenda meeting, which is the last Monday of this month. We hope we can have it and then have it for the next meeting.
All in favor to table,
Aye.
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 opposed, carried. Resolution 32, 2023, to approve funding in the amount of $3,500 to come from the Highway Department budget. Used in repurposing the old garbage truck for further use by the Highway Department.
I make a motion.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. Resolution 33 of 2023 to accept the proposal from Turbo Technologies, Inc. in the amount of $13,135 for the purchase of a large brine applicator. Funds for this purchase to come from the Highway Department budget.
I'll make that motion. We got 3 quotes on that, if I recall, right?
We do.
I'll second.
I'll
Oh,
second.
go ahead.
Email them to you.
Yeah.
Yeah, we got them.
And can we make note that money comes from the fund balance, please?
Surplus funds, yes.
Have Jim making the motion.
And
Did you have a
Supervisor
second?
Merlino.
I made it.
Oh, okay. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. Resolution 34 of 2023 to approve the advertisement of bids for a new or used 1-ton dual rear wheel truck for use by the Water Department.
Say that 5 times.
Make a motion.
I'll second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. Resolution 35 of 2023. That the town board believes it's in the best interest of the town to allow an extension to complete 2022 training requirements to any planning and or zoning board member, since it is extremely difficult to fill these positions. These 2022 training requirements must be completed by June 30, 2023. Any such extension will have no effect on the training required for the year 2023.
Are you all right with that?
Yeah, I'm fine with that.
All right, I'll make that motion.
I'll second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
Sit on resolutions. All right, we'll have reports. We'll start with the highway. Ron Dool.
I don't really have much. I sent you the snow report up on their salt usage. Other than that, you want me to talk about Sherman extension or waiting on that?
I think we have to wait on that until we get a little bit more advice from our attorney.
Okay. Other than that, I don't, I'm good.
You want Cindy to read what you spent, what you did on your report that you sent out today? As of 2/26?
I don't think Cindy.
I saw it. I went over it.
I didn't email to her, I just emailed to.
I had one
I got-
stupid little question. How does that compare with last year?
I mean, not much. I didn't really compare.
What's your gut?
What's that?
What's your gut feeling? More or less, same?
I'll say,
Okay.
yeah, we've had a lot of rain.
Yeah.
And it's been just as bad if we had snow. So, but we're doing pretty good with that.
Thanks.
You want to read it, Gene, or?
Yeah, well, I can give you a quick what it's, we just got it this afternoon.
It's
They've been
basically-
called out 35 times to salt roads due to the weather. Roughly 20 tons each storm. Between all 8 trucks that are on the road. Depending on the type of storm. The total for the year so far is 700 tons. And we do 113 miles. Of plowing and salting. The benefit of doing the salt and using the brine, it'll save us a lot of months worth of work sweeping up the sand. So the brine is working pretty good, but
Yeah.
we learned a lot about brine, especially this year.
Yeah.
You gotta put it out. And if you see the state starts putting it out 2 days before a storm's coming. And we're finding out it works really well. But if it's raining like Thursday, it rained, worked with Ron, you can't put it down. So we had to put more salt down when it froze Thursday night. It just,
We really need some good dry days before the storm.
this is good. I like this.
We have to. I'm quoted for 1,400 tons and we have to take 70% of that no matter what. So I don't see us hitting that. I'm sure we're gonna have some more good storms though.
All right, anything else, Ron?
Nope, that's it.
Karen Putney zoning,
Okay, I have emailed to you the zoning report. You have it in your papers as well. I have one other thing that has come up. Studio A, Matt Huntington contacted me. He's working with a landowner, working with APA presently on a subdivision that will be coming to our planning board at some point. It has not come to our planning board yet. What in their process, they APA is asking them if the town will be willing to take over the roads in the subdivision and the stormwater system of those roads if they don't do an association when they do this subdivision, if and when it gets approved. I talked to Ron and he asked me to bring it to the board's attention. We have some subdivisions that are going to be coming up. And this is the first time that Ron has had to deal with deciding to take over the roads and the stormwater systems or not. We have this one that will be coming up. It hasn't even come to the planning board yet formally at all. There is one that was approved in 2009 on Call Street that's recently come back to the planning board because they're making revisions to the road and the stormwater areas, and they need a letter from the town stating whether or not the town will take over the road and the stormwater system. We have a subdivision that may be going in up in the Heights. They did a presentation to the planning board a year ago. And I'm assuming that that's still in the works. Guido Passarelli's property has been subdivided and half of that, they're looking to do a subdivision there. Still nothing formal to the town yet, but they have been talking about what they're doing. I'm trying to think if there are any other ones. There are 4 or 5 of them that I know that are going to be coming up, and they're all asking this question: will the town take over the maintenance of the road and the stormwater systems if they don't do like an association in in the subdivisions. So I talked to Ron. He said that as long as the roads are designed according to the specs that are in our subdivision books for the width of the road and all of that, and as long as they actually either deed over the road, give us meets and bounds to take ownership of the road, or have some kind of an easement for those roads so that we have a right of way. And I'm not sure about all of the stormwater systems, but I've got to go back to this gentleman with some kind of an answer, because he's got to answer APA as to what the town is willing to do. I didn't know if you could come to a consensus as to what you want to do on these roads and stormwater systems, or if you want to put together a letter. I don't know.
Why don't we ask for a signed letter letting them know they have to go by our specs? They want a letter from us, we want a letter from them, you know, saying that.
But what about the storm?
That would have to be an engineered system.
Yeah.
Are we allowed to ask who this person is?
I gave you the name Matt Huntington out of Studio A.
I mean, who's doing this subdivision? Or where the road is, you said Call Street.
Yeah, that's, yeah, I get, and no,
Doesn't matter.
I'm not
I would
allowed
not
to.
give the name.
Okay, no name. So you said ask the people that are doing it for a letter stating,
Just stating that they'll agree to do it to our specs.
But can I make another suggestion,
well,
Ron?
hold on 1 minute. That we don't have specs for the stormwater systems, though, I don't believe. That's usually reviewed by DEC and DOH.
It would be an engineered thing.
But this isn't even in any approval stage. I mean, it's not formally been brought to our planning boards. How can we?
How can you give them an answer if we're gonna do anything, when nothing's been approved? Tell them to wait.
Yeah.
Bring it to the board and tell them to wait, get in line,
Wait.
like everybody
Go
else.
ahead.
I think it's hard for the board to make this decision without seeing the plans and what's being proposed. I think that they either need to submit something formal to the board, showing what their plans are and showing all the specifications so the board can make an informed decision about this, or they just need to wait until it comes in front of the ZBA or the planning board.
Okay,
I thought this was further along than that, like we're talking about something, oh, forget it, that's.
On a more conceptual level, if we want to see construction of some affordable houses in this town, so we start to bring some young people in here, we're gonna have to wrestle with this, okay? It's not rocket science. You know, the planning board, I assume, will take a look at the road construction and make sure that
well, I'm assuming that we would bring in the town's engineer to
That-
review those.
that's what I was gonna say next. That would encompass all of that stuff, including the storm water management. And then the third thing is legal. You know, your deeds or right of ways or all that, town attorney would have to sign off on all that stuff.
Well, one of the
But
things that,
I'm in favor of doing all that.
I'll tell them. Yep.
one of my questions is,
Yeah.
can we,
I might be on it. He should ask himself.
can we take?
He can talk on there. I'm
But
sorry.
yes, Karen. Please.
One of my questions is, do you want them to deed over the actual road by like meets and bounds? Or will an easement or suffice? What happens?
I think most towns will want all of it.
I'm kind of asking the attorney.
A deed is cleaner. I don't think you want to be guessing where your
Yeah,
right of way
yeah.
is.
Okay,
And then you also get into road by use, or I just think a deed is the way to go.
It's a road we don't like.
Right.
No pun intended.
Yeah, but these have to come in front of the planning and zoning board, and we
Yeah.
actually asked number one question in my mind is, how long is the road gonna be? I mean, we're gonna have to do 5 miles of road in a subdivision. I know Ron's gonna be asking for another plow truck, so, you know,
Well, some of these subdivisions may have more than one road in
Right,
them. I don't.
right, that's what I mean.
And
Is there a? dead
I
end?
know in
Oh,
this one particular instance for Studio A, that this is part of their letter that they got from APA for an incomplete application. So that's why they were looking for some kind of definitive answer. But I will go back and
Yeah.
tell them what you've said and
Karen, if I remember right, and that's dangerous. It's in planning and zoning that we can hire a consultant if we need.
that's true. We did that with the one over on
Yeah.
Call Street.
Is there dead end language?
It
Cul-de-sac
talks
language?
about cul-de-sacs in there.
Okay. I know.
You don't want a
snowplows,
dead
fire
end.
trucks don't like those.
No, you don't want a dead end.
that's the whole, and it should be laid out on a plan before, you know, and I know Paul feels that he just called me and he must be on, he could speak for himself, but he feels that we should get more information from these contractors and what they want to do and, you know, that's the first thing that we
Okay.
gotta know. And the stormwater, I think you gotta have, I don't know, it's only my opinion, you better have an engineer in here to make sure it gets laid out right. Because, I mean, we have problems, Ron, with water on roads that weren't done right. People are getting it down their driveway, so who they call is you and me.
We want to inherit a problem.
I don't want to inherit any problems, so.
We
But-
don't want that.
Eastern Estates is a perfect example of a problem.
Yeah.
That road was supposed to go up and around and it
It
never
doesn't.
got done.
Right,
And we got.
yeah. Well, even Second Lake too, that was never laid out right. We have problems there every once in a while. So this is gonna be, but like I agree with Mr. Niles, we can't rule everything out because we do need some housing in our town and there are areas that we can develop to have housing, but those are big problems that the taxpayers get stuck with if it's not right. So let the, now and I'm not talking about like Guido. I have plans that he had, right? I have it here because he
Yeah,
wanted,
but they're not going with that.
they're not going with
No,
that,
They're
you
going with a
know,
whole new design.
yeah.
They've
Because
already-
the roads are in there and the storm drains are in there, but it's gotta be changed. So. All right, that's my 2 cents. So basically, we really gotta get more information out of these builders.
Okay, that's all I have.
What's that?
Okay.
Yeah, Paul, you want to talk? Unmute yourself, Paul. Paul, can you hear me? Can you unmute yourself and speak out a little? Guess not. All right. All right, but that's basically what it was thinking to the,
Yeah, all that stuff is covered by our zoning regulations.
here, you want to listen to him on here? Hello, Paul.
My microphone is bad on my laptop.
All right, speak. You're on here, speak.
Everything that I understand that's going on, it's got to be done by an engineering situation, the standards of the town and everything else. Almost every one of those projects that you're talking about has got to be looked at it as an individual situation. Okay, and until we get more information, I make a motion to table it.
No motions. You can't have any motions.
Okay, that's right, I'm not there,
Right.
but that's my feeling. I'm sorry I can't get on the Zoom meeting other than going through your phone, Gene.
No problem. No problem. All right, thank you for your comment.
Hold on, if you were to make a motion, I want to hear his opinion. Don't make a motion, but tell me what your motion would talk about.
if I could make a motion, it was to be tabling
No,
this situation until we get more information and how to set it up.
yeah,
That's what I'm saying.
yeah, no, it's gotta go through the planning board, which all this stuff comes up through that process.
All right, thanks, Paul.
You're welcome.
All right, so that's settled right now. Okay. Karen, anything else?
No, that's all I have.
All right, town clerk Cynthia?
I'll just advise of the town clerk's monthly report for January. Local shares remitted to supervisor, $3,360.25. And the tax levy for the town portion of the taxes is all collected. And now we're working on the county portion. That's all.
Okay, thank you. Mr. Hanlon?
Enough to report this time.
Mr. Niles?
Okay, I'm not sure how much of this you got on your list, but. The short-term rental. We agreed that we were going to use the former attorney to finish that for us because he was the author and so on and so forth. Just for the record, he told us $200 an hour, so. It's on the record. Also on short-term rentals, just this afternoon, I received the latest version of that proposed regulation from the former town attorney, so we'll be taking a look at that. I'll email it out to everybody. I'm thinking maybe we should put it on a website so people can start seeing it. There's half a dozen changes, a couple of them pretty minor, but they were all changes that we talked about during our workshop. Another issue. Shucks, I forgot to pass this out. In order to get our application in to consider using an herbicide in Lake Luzerne, we have to get a letter out that's basically written by the contractor. We have to get that letter out in a week. And I brought copies of it with me. I haven't had a chance to edit this letter, but basically the content of this letter has to be in there. I'm a little disappointed with some of the wording because it's a little bit confusing. So any edits that I
So explain this letter, explain to me this letter. This letter has to be out.
in order to apply for a permit from DEC and APA, the town has to send a letter to everybody that has property on the lake and anybody that has property on Mill Creek. It's a letter of notification.
Okay, and
Basically, the letter says we're applying for this permit.
we're applying for it and there's no response needed, just we have to put the letter out within a week.
Right.
Okay,
No, the only reason we have to put it out within a week is it typically takes a couple months once this is all in. This is step one. Step two is the actual permit permit application. That takes a while. That goes to APA, goes to NCON. That takes a couple months. And the best time to do this, if it gets approved, and if we decide to do it.
yeah, in the winter time right now,
Right.
get the ball going. Yeah, makes
Right.
sense. Yeah.
The best time to
Warm
actually
weather's
apply
coming.
the herbicide is late May.
Yeah, so earlier we get the application, all the paperwork in, the better.
Right.
Okay, good.
And
How are
who's
we
that
on?
contractor that we're gonna use for
Solitude.
Solitude?
Yeah.
And do we have a contract with them?
Right now, we have a contract with them to put the permit application together.
That's what, 4,000?
Yeah, 4,500.
And they're not gonna send the letter for you as part of that permit application?
No, he wants us to send it on our letterhead. Okay, so I'll pass this out.
We should let Mary have one too. That's probably
Yeah.
what he wants written on our letter. Right?
Very good. I have some help with this whole process. Been talking to some of the other experts, and I've been talking to our lake association to help get the word out and stuff like that. But I guess I'm hoping to mail this out a week from today. So I'm gonna pass it out to you. I'll call you, I'll email you, whatever you want. and ask you, are you guys okay with it? Here's a copy. The other thing that we're gonna do that I recommend shortly after this letter goes out, maybe a week or two later, is just to put together a fact sheet. For example, if you read this, it says the concentration will be less than 5 parts per billion. I don't know about anybody else, but that to me means that means nothing. So I'm suggesting, and I've already got somebody working on this, to put a fact sheet together to turn some of this stuff into English. For example, 5 parts per billion is a drop for a 40 by 20 swimming pool. I think that's kind of something people can relate to, as opposed to 5 parts per billion. So the fact sheet that I want to put together, it's got to be objective. We haven't made a decision as to whether we're doing this or not. At this point, we're just deciding to do an application. The only thing it's going to cost us to do the application is the $4,500 to have the company fill out the forms. But I've been reading some of the stuff in the papers about the use of Priscilla, and there's a lot of miscommunication, a lot of stuff that's just not true. So I want to put together a fact sheet. So I'm going to be doing that too, but that'll be a couple of weeks out. Okay, here's a couple more copies. Pass them down. I have 2 or 3 left, which I'd be happy to give away if somebody wants them. Good.
Yep.
Okay. Garbage hauling economics. I see that's coming up on your. Camera house. We already did. Okay, that's it. Thank you.
All right, thank you. I have a couple of things just to answer if Paul's on the phone. We talked about getting some work done on the streams leading from Lake Luzerne north. I did some research on it. Checked with soil and water. First thing we have to do is make sure DEC and APA knows, and we got to get a permit to do it. And he doubts that that's going to happen because it's very restricted doing any work, but we'll get it all done and we'll see what happens before we even think of moving forward. So I just want to let Paul know I did check that out for him, and that's the answer I got. Rebecca still wants to see Ron and I. They're very busy, so are we. She's going to give me a date that Ron and I can meet her. I don't know what she wants. Do you know what they want, Ron, at all? Okay. So it's either going to be that we have to go up to their place in
They were contacted
Warrensburg.
to talk about helping us, I'll use the words clean up River Road. The summer problems up there. That's why, that's what the discussion is supposed to be.
Well, we're gonna have to run up there. They don't have time to come down.
Yeah, whenever, just.
All right, I'll let you
Whenever
know.
you're available, do you just?
Yeah,
let
well,
me-
I told her, give me a date that she's available, so like we can
Yeah.
coordinate it if you wanna, I'll let you
Give
know.
me a call too.
So that's taken care of too. Solitude was the other question. We're getting a lot of stuff from Solitude. It's very confusing, so. I know Tracy wanted to meet today, but I couldn't, I didn't get her email until 11 o'clock this morning, which she mailed to me Saturday, but I was busy and I didn't get on my email to see it, so.
Any idea what the
No, she wanted to talk about
topic
something.
is?
No. All right, the hauling of garbage. Now, we've been about that for a good couple of months. All right, you all have one in your packet. Basically, I'll give you the bottom line and we can figure that out. The bottom line is roughly 116.25 tons from, we get the report from February all the way to December. And it's each month is but the tonnage on there. So what you want to do with that, we'll have to talk about that in a workshop. But we got the answer that the board was looking for, how many tons of garbage we ship out of here. And the only other thing I'm gonna ask the attorney, I'd like to have a 15-20 minute executive session. I have a personal matter and on a couple items on personal matters. But we'll do that right after the meeting. That's about all I have right now, I think. I'm open to the floor. Any more questions on the floor? Yes.
Dan Allen. Ron started mentioning something about this term and extension or whatever, and you gunned it down quick. And you had to talk to the lawyer or something before he mentioned anything more. Now, I spoke with you in November, December, and you said after the holidays, you would have something.
Well, we finally got
Something.
it. Finally
Okay,
got it to court.
My question is,
Mhm.
is it going to be brought up the next meeting, or when do you think it will be brought up?
Well, that's part of my executive session of what we're gonna discuss about that road, because it's still under litigation. We won most of the case. I think the rocks are gone, right? I
I've
heard,
been told, yeah, they're
yeah,
moved.
they took them away. They were told to take them away. So
Okay.
we're moving forward with it.
Okay, when do you predict
I,
that there be a final thing that I can come to a meeting and come up with, leave here and have an answer? Because I've been, we've been playing with it for
When
over
do
a
you think the
year.
court will make the decision?
Pardon?
When do you think the court will make the decision?
No, I'm asking, when do you predict? I don't know. I haven't been to court.
Ours will be after that.
We can't do anything until.
can't do anything till.
We're under
well,
litigation.
I
We
mean,
can't do anything with it. Our hands are up.
no, it might be earlier than that, but you read I think you must have got a report
No,
on.
wait a minute.
what
This
what
is just
the judge said.
coincidence that I happened to be here the same time the rallies were and everything. Because you told me to wait till after the holidays. I figured February's
Well,
meeting was
we
gonna
were
be
waiting for the
perfect.
court hearing, and the court hearing was held 2 weeks ago, 3 weeks
But
ago.
all that
Very
hearing was on,
But-
was on the injunction.
That's right. So
Didn't decide it.
Okay, so just keep coming to the meetings and you'll have an answers.
yeah, we'll let you know when it comes up. When the judge finally makes his final decision on it. And I should open my big mouth, but I think it's in our favor because he's having them move the rocks and the gate. So that's a start. But we can't do anything
I'm
else.
just saying, I have a tree on my roof. I hiked in too far to carry a chainsaw. It's been on the roof for 6-8 months. I don't know how much damage, but I
don't
want to
know
be
if I
able to.
can Say this?
I.
No, I mean, I don't know if I can, yeah, Mary's not involved with this. She's new over here.
Right, I'm
We-
just
we
saying,
can
I
ask
don't
the-
know how much damage is done to my camp.
All right, but
But,
let me finish. What I'm trying to say to you, I have a feeling that you can go up that road if the judge said the rocks have to be removed. That's what's stopping you from going.
You can get through now, so.
You can get
I
through.
will check
So
it.
I mean, I'm don't.
Right,
I don't want to go to
right.
jail because, and you get there and go to jail,
Yeah.
but what we read,
I agree. I read it.
you read it, and nothing in there says I can't tell you what is in there,
Right.
but I can't do it until we speak.
Oh,
to
I
the attorney.
understand. I just was wondering, because every time we talk, it's,
Yeah,
wait
oh.
after the holidays or this or
Well,
that.
we're doing it right
I
now.
mean, we've,
We're being optimistic.
We're being optimistic. I would tell you to go up and down the road right now. I would go out on the limb for what we read. The judge told them to remove the rocks and the gate. So that's a start.
right,
So,
okay. Right, this was just coincidence that these questions would have been here if I would have been the only person here, tonight. It just was coincidence.
yeah, but our hands are tied until the Supreme
that-
Court judge makes that decision.
When did that happen? That just happened like late last week, right?
Yeah.
No, I got one here. I can give it, here it is right here. I can give you the date.
Gene Gavin, there's more discussion for a second. I gotta switch to this.
All right. This one here
Is that the
is.
email you sent us?
Yeah.
It's on the eighth.
Yeah.
5 days ago.
So, these are the ones we just got from our attorney.
Okay,
And
That
if you
was
read it,
Only about the injunction, which was, can they leave the rocks for now or not? So the judge ruled they gotta take the rocks away until the court case comes up.
and the only other thing that I did read, they came back now from the judge that they want to meet with us on proposals of us taking over Sherman Road. But that's all what I'm saying here. So we have not went that far yet. So that's a matter that's up to my road superintendent and town board if we want to take over Sherman Road. So. But this is good news, I
Right.
think. I could let you read, Mary.
I don't know if I
So
want-
I'm not a judge and I don't know. What I would tell you, go down the road, go look at your house. That gave us permission to let you use, not us to get, but the judge says you could use the road when you're taking the rocks down. They can't stop you. Huh?
Okay.
Are you all right? So, I mean, that's all I can tell you right now. I'm. Okay. Yeah, but there's nothing in here that says, don't reveal this, or nothing in here says, let everybody know what's going on. That's something I have to ask our attorney. That's part of the executive session. We're gonna give them a list of things that we need answers for. Okay.
Gene, one little comment I want to make, I mean, while we're still open for questions, is that we decided to, back to the open board seat, that we wanted to leave it up to the people to decide for elections. And that we wanted to,
Yeah, that's what we talked about.
and the 27th is coming up.
Yep.
For anybody who's interested, has to get their paperwork in.
I was, the website.
I didn't want to
we
let,
said-
yeah,
The website, we said they had to have, if they wanted to be on the board temporarily, we said they had to tell us by the 3rd. which is
The 3rd.
fast. So we could go ahead.
All right.
Because we have 5 or 6.
6, I think.
we had another one, we had,
Let's,
Dwayne Moulton,
I got him. I'm listening.
he's the latest one,
Well, why don't we do that during the executive session?
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, we'll talk about that. All right, so I think that's all I have. Anything else from the board? Yes, ma'am.
I don't know her.
Hi, it's Sonia Harris. Mr. Molino, I sent you an email on January 9th regarding the Youth Commission. I was here in the summertime also asking about it and
Oh, This about what, ma'am?
the Youth Commission, like
Right.
Luzerne Youth Commission. Has anything come about for that?
I don't think we've discussed that at all yet.
Well, summer's coming.
Yeah, I know.
The only thing I did is I looked up in the budget. We didn't put it in the budget.
No, it's not the budget.
So that means there's nothing happening this year for
You'll have
Luzerne.
to give us a little more time because it's tough for all of us to get together. Then it's a meeting, the laws, we try not to break the laws, but sometimes you have to talk amongst each other, how we all feel about it.
Okay, well, Mr. Molino, Luzerne's right now one of the only communities that does not have a youth commission. Corinth's making us look really, really bad. Hadley's making us look bad. What do you want to do for these kids? We keep saying we need to do more for the kids in this community to bring people in here. We're becoming a retirement community. If we don't have a youth commission, if we don't have summer programs, what are we doing to bring families here?
I don't disagree with you.
Well, there has to be a time when somebody's going to discuss this. I came to you guys in the summer. I emailed you on January 9th, but I heard nothing. We need something. So right now for Hadley, our students who are kids who are going to the Hadley program are being charged. That's not really fair to them because we have no program in this beautiful town of Lake Luzerne. I just don't understand what happened to it. I know there was COVID money that was not used for youth commission or the money went away, but how can Corinth do it? How can Hadley do it? But then Lake Luzerne can't do it.
Well, it's not that we can't do it. It's just,
Then what are you waiting for? I don't understand that.
Well,
Summer's here. We need people that are going to run this.
I'll tell you what you do. Call me
I've
Monday.
emailed you.
Well, ma'am, I get 500 emails a month. And sometimes I do read them and put them on the side and they stacked up this high. Call me. We'll set up an appointment. I'll see if I can get the board members in here. Tell us what your program is. Write it out.
It's not a program for me. It's something that the community used to
Well,
have.
somebody has to do a program. Tell us what you want on the program. I mean, it's not our job to think about a program.
But it's like, she's basically, what she's saying, I understand what she's saying. So we have nothing. Hadley has something, Corinth has something, we have nothing. End of the day, we have nothing.
Well, the school has one this year.
So does
School,
current school has something. I mean,
Our school has something this year. I know they do.
we have nothing. I'm just curious how we have nothing though.
who runs the beaches now? Is that, because that used to be part of youth commission.
Right, we still do
same
the
person.
beaches. That's part of what we're doing right now.
So that person doesn't do like the youth commission. I'm just trying to get an answer, that's all.
Yeah,
I feel bad for the kids here in Lake Luzerne, and we're trying to get families here.
We have to get somebody that's gonna run the program.
I would love to run the
But
program,
that's what I'm asking.
but I'm not gonna do it for free, and you haven't put anything in a budget.
Well, can you give me or us an idea of what you want to do in your program?
I can try, but it should already be there from what Diane Waite used to
Yeah,
do.
we already have we already have the,
God rest her soul, she did a wonderful job.
yeah, we have the examples already been laid out. We already have what Diane did.
Yeah.
And God rest her soul.
What are you willing to do? You just, like I said, give me a call and I'll meet with you. Let's
Okay.
figure out a plan.
Okay,
I can't do it by myself.
no, you can't. I can't do it by myself.
All right, so it's, there's enough on our shoulders to run the town. The youth
Mr.
commission. is
Merlino,
important. I'd
that's
like
not
to
fair
see
to
it.
say to me.
Huh?
That's not fair to say. There's enough on your plate.
Well,
You're here for the community.
I know that, but I need the community to help me. I just can't put together a youth program. I really know
There
nothing
should
about a
already be
youth
something
program.
in place. You should know about a youth program. You've been the supervisor for how many years?
Well, I know what it does, ma'am. I really do. But the point is, let's get what you want it to do so we can come up with an idea. You want this program,
I
get me an
do.
idea.
All right, I will.
All right? You call me Monday and we'll meet.
Do you have access to dollars and cents?
I don't, because I have no idea what is offered, what we did before. I mean, I can tell you what Hadley's
At some point,
giving,
both.
so I'll meet with Gene Cieslik and see what Hadley's offering, what they're offering.
Yeah.
And then we can, I
I
did
mean,
ask
most
her
of
to
the youth
come.
program was social little work, take them out to the Great Escape once a month and keep them here, do arts and crafts and things like that. I mean, I know what a social it is,
Right.
but what are you willing to?
Well,
to-
Is there any way playground's gonna ever come back? The program that we used to have for playground?
Well, it was very bad when we ended it. It was really almost, I mean, I don't want to use the phrase, but it was almost obsolete at that time. It went from 100 kids down to 20 or 30 or
Really?
10.
That's,
It was going backwards. Now, maybe the kids will want to come out, but the age group didn't want to come out. I mean, that's what I'm here,
How many
right.
kids participate in Hadley's in a year? Do we know?
Like one of their last programs they had, there was like 72 kids for like the self-defense class.
This is in Hadley.
Mhm,
These are kids from Luzerne and Hadley.
mhm. And they had to pay.
When was that?
So the numbers are there.
The numbers are definitely there.
Yeah.
Pre.
pre-COVID.
Yeah.
Because we haven't done it in 3 years.
Yeah,
2
it's been,
years.
to
This
be
is
fair,
the
it's
third.
pre-COVID.
Yeah, it's been a while. It's definitely been a while. All right, I will call you on Monday.
Call me on Monday and I'll
Okay.
sit down with you. Let's
Okay.
make up a program. You
Okay,
gotta help me, and then I can help you get it done.
okay, I will. I just have one question for Karen also. How many, I've talked to you before about the unregistered vehicles. And I know you said that you were we didn't have enough zoning officer, like you didn't have any help and I can understand that. So is it 2 unregistered vehicles that can be in a yard?
You can have one unregistered vehicle for a period of 6 months. So what happens is if someone makes a complaint and I find, say 2, then I will notify them that they have to remove one and they can leave one for a period of 6 months. It's documented that it was there on the time that we made the inspection, and then they have 6 months to either get it registered or to remove that last one.
Okay, so if I filed the complaint, which I've done before,
Well, you asked me not.
yeah, I did.
you-
So
you
is with that,
withdrew
right?
that.
So would that still have to be, my name has to be
It
on there
has
for
to be
the,
in writing according to the zoning ordinance. It's written that it should be an affidavit. However, I will take just a letter or an email, something with your name and on it and what the complaint is.
and then you would have to tell them that it was me?
It is foilable. If someone
Okay.
asks, it is foilable.
Okay, one other question. Does that go for like unregistered snowmobiles and campers also, or
No.
no? Is that totally different?
It's only for automobiles.
So would a, like a motor home be considered a,
Not
No.
considered a recreational vehicle, but they are supposed to be parked in the side and rear yard, so that I can address.
okay. Okay,
I can send you the ordinance by email if you want
okay.
to look
Well,
at.
they're,
it.
I
Research
think they're
it
breaking
yourself.
all of that, so.
I realize that. I had sent out a letter on that. They've just done nothing about it yet. And we
Okay.
are trying to get to the point where we can start working on those. But with the new stuff coming down the road with the short-term rental, if it ends up in my office, which I'm thinking that it's going to, it's another job that just takes more time. So we're trying to get there. And we've looked at it one other time since I sent that letter and nothing has been done from that letter, the original letter that I sent.
Yeah, because what's happening now is like they don't have enough room in their driveway.
I'm sorry, they don't have
What,
what?
they don't have enough room in their driveway to put the cars, so now they're coming out onto the road
Well, they should not be on the road either.
with other vehicles, not, and those vehicles end up leaving, but that's what's happening. Like, I don't know how an emergency car would get down the driveway if there was an emergency.
Well, my ordinance doesn't really talk about that part
Okay.
of it, but,
Okay, all right,
okay.
all righty, thank you.
Yep.
Thanks, Sonia.
All right, anything else? Did I see a hand back there?
Uncle Eddie, I haven't been on town board meeting for a while, but I was wondering when and if you are going to replace the open seat on the town board.
No, the decision that we were just talking about, we have 5 or 6 applicants. We know them all. We felt that it might be better that they all fill out a form, take a petition out in the end of February into March and get on the ballot. Let the people in the town pick it. Pick the person that has to be on this town board. We're running with 4 people. I mean, I know Paul's out, but we're doing all right with 4 people. But it's better than a group of people, 4 or 5 people to pick a person and put them on the board. Let the people in the town pick it. That's my whole feeling. And everybody has to go out and get petitions, and when the voting time comes around in June, everybody has to get out and vote. And he or she who wins gets on the board.
I'd like to thank the people that volunteered. Thanks, if it's all right with my colleagues on the board, I'm gonna send them a thank you
Well,
letter.
we should send them a letter and say that's the decision.
It takes a few minutes to, throw a resume together, put a letter together to express the interest. And we need more of that in Lake Luzerne, more people getting involved. So I'm gonna send them out a letter on town letterhead, thanking them for that. And I'll also say a little bit about the fact that we're just gonna let the electorate
Okay,
decide.
Mr. Eddie, that's okay? I don't think he has me. All right, anything else? I need a motion to move into executive. Oh, you got somebody else? I'm sorry. I thought you were leaving.
Mal Riley, and I know we've tabled this Sherman Road thing. I just wanted to let him know, I told Ron earlier, the boulders and the gate have been removed. The road is open. I understand because I got a phone call today that they were removed on Saturday. We're part of the litigation. And Mr. Crowe, town attorney, when we were in court 2 weeks ago, or last week, whenever it was, he did a good presentation to the judge, and we did receive a decision and an order from the court. But I understand it's already being appealed. So it's still in litigation, but the road is open.
Right.
It's in pretty rough shape where they removed the boulders, and I had asked Ron if maybe he could go up there with a loader and just take the bucket and back drag it and smooth it out a little bit so we can get into the camp and get the repairs made that we need to do. It's been 2 years. It's,
Well, I
but
mean,
it's
if you
only
did-
the areas where the boulders were
You
that the
got the
road
same
is.
thing we got.
Yeah, yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
And well, what it says is we have to go back.
Yep.
On April 7th, but if there's an appeal,
But at least the boulders are gone and the gate's
Yes.
gone. That gives you the right to go back on the
yes,
property.
and I was in there today, so.
All right. All right, thank you, sir. Appreciate that. All right, so we're going into executive session, to discuss a couple of personnel matters. And when we come out, there will be no vote at that session,
So when we come back, it'll be strictly to adjourn.
strictly to adjourn. Okay, thank you all for coming.
Can make a motion.
Make a motion to go in executive session.
Second.
Second.
Second, all in
Aye.
favor?
Aye.
Good.